forward to improving on it and playing our best this weekend. And have a lot of respect for Kansas State and their program, and obviously Chris Kleiman's a good friend of mine, so I know that they'll get their guys going, and a really talented team. Things went well for us, and we were able to capitalize on it, and but there's still room for improvement, and we're looking forward to getting better. But really happy with the way the guys are leading this team, and the way they're all playing, and the way that they're sticking together. So looking forward to this week, going to Baylor and playing that game. We've been there before. It's a tough environment to play. I mean, everything on the road is hard nowadays, especially in this conference. And so looking forward to the matchup. They're coming off a heartbreaking loss. That they had the game under control, and so losing an overtime game, I know that they're in a tough spot right now. But knowing everything about Dave Aranda and what he does in his business, he'll have those guys rolling, and he'll have them giving us their best shot. My job is to make sure that we bring our best shot too, and we see how it goes. So looking forward to the game, looking forward to being out there. It's a cool environment. I really like that stadium a lot, and so our players looking forward to the game. I'm looking forward to the game. We learned from last week, but we're got to stay humble and stay hungry, and that's what our approach is. We've seen. I know a lot of guys on this coaching staff, and they'll have this team ready, and so I recognize a lot of the players on that team too, and they'll be ready to roll. We just need to make sure that we're ready to go too. And looking in the landscape of college football, teams have big wins, and then it has this overlasting effect even into the next week, and we got to make sure that doesn't happen. So looking forward to the good prep today, and moving on from last week's result. Even though we're happy about it, we got to move on and focus on the next one. We've talked about, we only get 12 guaranteed opportunities, so we have the fifth one coming up, and we got to take advantage of it and take advantage of the time that we have to be on that field. So, what questions do you guys have for me?
Thanks, Coach. We'll start with Mitch Harper and then Jay Drew.
Kalani, how did Sione Aimoa get on your guys' radar to bring him into the program?
Well, I mean, we knew about him in high school, and so when we recruited him, we knew the plays he could make. And then, after guys serve missions and they start to kind of explore where they want to go, sometimes they contact us, and we make it work. So I like the skill set that he has, and we're familiar with his family. We knew that he could do what we did, last Saturday night, and I think he's got a lot of ability. But the entire room is gifted. Those guys are talented, and I think Harvey's doing a great job at bringing them along and mentoring them and developing them. And A-Rod's doing a great job with that group as well. So that with the presence of T.J. Woods in the room and Kevin Gilbride, I think they're able to really get the most out of these guys. And we knew that if we needed to go to our depth, we could rely on those guys. And I'm just glad of the way he approached the game. Sometimes you can't account for what happens when it's a live game, and he performed exactly like I thought he would, and like we hoped for, and there it is. So. Now we were gaining more experience with these guys, and Pokai played, and Enoch did some good things. So the room is gaining more experience and getting better as we go on throughout the season.
You bring up the rest of the room. We saw on the depth chart this week that L.J. Martin's not listed. Does that mean he's out for the week?
Yeah. I think we're counting on him taking advantage of the extra time that we can get, and hopefully get him back by the sixth game. So. Yeah, I think we're looking at it. There's only so many reps, and I think if you ask LJ and you ask the rest of the guys, whether you're able to go is not really the question. It's, are you better than the guys that are at full strength? And so when we look at that, if you ask our running backs, they want to play, but we've got to make the best decision, and we can really take advantage of extra time and healing for him, and that's what we're going to do with him.
Kalani, you've praised Kelly Papinga for his work on special teams quite a bit this year, and he's obviously paid a lot of dividends for you. When you hired him to come back to BYU, was that part of the reason why, is that his just ability to coach that unit?
I wanted to hire him because he's a great coach and a great person. That's the number one thing is that I recognize what he can do as a mentor to these young men, and being a former player here, I know he cares and loves this place, and so I knew that he could. I mean, he has a great reputation in coaching even before we hired him. I knew him before that, but now that I get to work alongside him and see the things that he does, it's been really, for me, it's been nice to see. And you know, Jay's a special teams guy. He has that background too, so you know, it's nice to have the presence of Jay there as a head coach and a special teams coordinator, defensive coordinator, and then but K-Pop, he's a great coach. I mean, you look at the improvement and the way that we've been able to play at the DN position, what he does with the special teams. He's a great coach, great recruiter, and a great man, and I love having him on staff.
And a follow-up, if I could, on Dave Aranda. You've had passed with him. Gary Anderson was on the same, basically took him with him to Wisconsin. What is your relationship with Aranda, and will Gary Anderson does he travel with you guys in his role as a consultant?
Dave Aranda's a good friend of mine, and I've known him for decades. I mean, we've been around each other quite a bit. We've worked, done some development together, some professional development, and so a lot of guys on our staff know him. I mean, Chad Howell coached for him, and he was a coordinator, and so and that relationship with Gary Anderson. So yeah, we know a lot about him. And that's why the focus is on this game. We've got to, we talk to the team even in the locker room that let's get over the win, and we got to move on to the next one. That's what good teams do, and we anticipate being a good team. So we've got to focus on this game. And Dave's a great coach. He'll get those guys ready, and a great person. I really enjoy my friendship with Dave, and he has a great football mind. So, we've got to be ready to roll.
Thanks, Jay. We'll take some more questions from Kevin Reynolds and then Jake Hatch.
Hey, Kalani, I just wanted to follow up on something that you said about Sione and his recruitment. Did he reach out to you, or did you reach out to him first? And then just as a follow-up, who was kind of the main recruiter when you were recruiting him?
All of us are main recruiters. This is not a one coach recruits everybody. And recruiting is everything for us in terms of the roster spots, who we bring on, who is a possibility, and all those things. So it's an entire program, and that's how it works. You guys didn't even talk to me about him before the season. Now you guys want to know all the details. He's a great player, and we're excited about what he's doing. He's got some improvement to make. That's what we're going to focus on. So you stop blowing his head up, so you can make him. We got to keep him humble and keep him hungry.
Kalani, wanted to ask you, just in terms of preparing for Baylor, Sawyer Robertson might be the quarterback. It could be their other quarterback. Preparing for different quarterbacks, how do you go about that? How do you balance that?
Yeah, that's kind of what college football is sometimes. You have to be ready for the skill set of each quarterback. But, I mean, you look at them, most quarterbacks that are at this level in the Big 12 can throw the ball, they can run, they're athletic, and they're big, and they're strong. So it's no different here. And I know Coach Spavital, he'll get those guys ready. I mean, this isn't a dangerous team, and so we're taking, we're focused on what they can do, and I'm not really concerned about who's going to play quarterback. I want to be concerned about the things that we can improve on from last week and how we can play better. So that's, but I have a lot of respect for them, and those guys are very capable players. They have a lot of experience as players, and so we see it on film, and you combine that with what they have up front. I mean, they've recruited and trained their guys well, so it's going to be a great matchup for us.
I also wanted to ask you, Campbell Barrington is one of their starting tackles, a former player of yours. Do you still have any relationship with him? Do you talk with him at all?
No, I haven't talked with him much since he left, but just whenever I can see him, and I mean that he knows we care about him. I love the Barrington family, appreciate what they've done for us here and what they've done for me as a coach on our team, and so that's kind of like how things work in the transfer portal. You're gonna have to get used to seeing some guys and that maybe were on your roster playing at other places, and I wish nothing but the best of them. I see our former players that have left here making plays and doing some really cool things, and I just wish them the best, man. Once a Cougar, always a Cougar. So we're really proud of what they've done when they were here, and I'm definitely going to keep cheering them on as they move on. It just won't be. I won't be cheering for Campbell this weekend, but that's after this and before this, I definitely cheer for him.
Okay, Coach, we'll wrap up with a couple more questions. We'll take Mitch, Harper, Jay Catch, and then Sean.
Kalani, does the now that you guys know that you're playing a morning game, does the schedule change at all with anything with practice or anything like that? Did the schedule change at all in preparation for a morning kick this week?
Yeah, the schedule changes, but not with our practice schedule. We've already got our classes in the morning. We're an afternoon practice team. We like that because you can get, in the heat, in the fall we can get in the heat. It's when it's the hottest part of the day, and in the winter it's the hottest part of the day. We like to be outside when we practice, and even if the weather gets cold. So that's kind of what we do. We'll adjust a couple other things, meeting times, things like that. But we've been in this situation before. We can adjust our schedule depending on whatever the time happens. That's kind of what that's what we do, and we have our staff, our support staff, our strength staff, and sports scientists that can kind of get us in the best place where we can operate and play at our best when kickoff happens.
Well, I wanted to ask you about the progress of your offense overall. Is it getting to the level you expected it to be? Because you've talked in the past about wanting to be at a higher level.
Yeah, I don't really. If they put points on the board, that's the higher level. That's what I want. Take care of the football. That's high level football. If we give the offense short fields, we can't back up and getting more yards. What I do like is that when we give them short fields, they capitalize and score points. So that's what we're going to be focused on, scoring points. And the stat that matters the most is the points that are on the board, and that's what we're going to focus on. So I do like the way they respond. This is a team game, so it took all three phases to function efficiently for us to get this victory, and we're excited about the moves that we've made. I'm excited to see what the offense does against Baylor. So this is going to be a cool matchup. I'm excited to see our guys work and improve, and we've improved every week. I don't imagine that changing at all. So I'm looking forward to the movement that we can make and the improvement we can make as an entire team, and especially in all three phases and with the offense.
Coach, we talked a little bit after the game of Parker Kingston's punt return, or that entire unit's punt return, because I think he got like 7 blocks on it as well to make that touchdown happen. It's getting a lot of praise online and some awards and stuff, but when Parker kind of had to freelance a little bit, I guess, from the punt to the backtrack and everything, I think the word you used afterwards was a mistake that he made, and then he made that mistake right. Are you okay with sort of a little bit of freelancing out there on the field, or is that just kind of one of those situations where you kind of learn from a lot of it and just accept that something could happen this time, I guess?
Freelancing, I mean, it's a relative term. It could be used in different ways. I mean, in terms of the football, there's not a lot of freelancing we should do. I'm glad it worked out, in a positive for us. But I like to see Parker just catch the ball and return it. I mean, I don't know where did he touch the ball? Do you guys remember? A 70-yard punt return would have been just as nice, So I mean, and then he would save himself all the trouble with all that extra running. So I'm pleased that it worked out, but like that wasn't. You don't freelance by taking a huge risk like that. I don't think he would even call that freelancing. But I'm glad that he stuck with it and was able to overcome the mistakes. Some mistakes are really difficult to overcome. That one, you just got to be more mindful of it, and we got to do a better job of coaching our guys so that the mistakes don't happen. And that's my job. I'm going to try to do my best to make sure these guys eliminate the mistakes and get better as we go along.
Okay, thanks, Coach. That's all the questions we have for today.
All right,
Have a
guys.
great week.
Thank you.